All right, welcome to the November 4th, 2020 Evolution Working Group. Lots of things are evolving today, but one of them is our understanding of software evolution in the open source community. We have a number of items here that we want to share, and I will share my screen for those items to facilitate the video. So with us today are Carter, myself, Kevin, and Vinod. And our agenda is to review the status of name change oriented pull requests. As you may recall, the reviews name that was used for pull requests on GitHub and merge requests on GitLab caused a great deal of confusion for anyone who is a newcomer to CHAOSS. So it became an obstacle to newcomer integration and stickiness in the project. And so it needed to be fixed, and we landed on change requests instead of reviews. And so I just want to run over to the repository, and I believe, Kevin, you created issues for these, right?
So I created metrics release issues for four of the name change metrics.
Are there more?
So I believe there are 6 total.
Okay.
These 4 that I've created are revisions. The other 2 are metrics that haven't been released yet. So I held off on those because they're not in the they're not on the spreadsheet as being scheduled for release. So I wasn't sure what the status on those was.
Well, let's take a look at those. That seems like a kind of important thing to get our heads around and see if those are in a position to be released or not. So let me jump over to the spreadsheet. So probably reviews open and reviews closed, right?
If you pull,
no. It would be, are they in progress?
So actually, if you pull up the release notes issue, which I will drop into the chat real quick, the code request change. What is that? Code request change. Code change request iteration. Is that one? Code change request iteration.
Not showing up on the spreadsheet, but it's probably not called exactly that.
Yeah, and some of them, there are some notes in here that, so code change request iteration is one of them, and then the other one is code change request efficiency.
So code review efficiency is one of them, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to change that to pending, and then.
Okay, that one is ready. That one is ready for.
Well, no. I'm putting pending just so I can keep track of it. I can change it back to in progress depending what we find. But I want to find the other one.
I should say one question I had on this was since we're in the process.
I think code review iteration is the one you're talking about.
Yes, and it changes to code change request iteration.
All right, so let's just take a look at these two and see what level of development we're at. So this one is not at any level of development. And code review efficiency, let's see how developed this one is. Not really at any level of development. So if we get to the point of working on metrics, it seems like these are metrics that we want to focus on, unless anyone disagrees.
So for code review efficiency, there's a note there that says it's the same as, go back to that the same as review duration.
Yeah, I may have even written that.
Mhm.
Review duration is a discrete statistic. Efficiency, in my view, accounts for a number of things in addition to duration. So, for example, if I think it may include okay, taking blue off of the ones. What was the other one?
Code
Reviews
review
closed.
efficiency and code review iteration.
Yeah, I'm just, all right, I'm gonna leave these pending because I already lost track of which ones they are. So I think code review efficient, I don't know, Carter, Vinod, Kevin, what do you think? I think when I think of what code review efficiency is, and I think of what review duration is a discrete statistic that just counts the days. When I think of efficiency, I'm thinking that it includes counting the days, but it also includes the number of iterations and time between them.
And maybe
And it
even
may include
maybe even merge success.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if I jump back to this doc, name of metric, okay, it's like, I still don't know how Google determines what my default user is. It's not the same.
By the way, we have the name change now, so it's not code review efficiency. It's going to be code change request efficiency. And I would even say we could probably get rid of the code part and just say change request efficiency.
I would agree with that.
Which means which would mean we have a name change for those two again, which is fine because they're not. I don't think they exist anywhere.
Well, they haven't been released. So so this becomes change request efficiency. And this becomes change request iteration. Yes. Gonna end up opening like 12 copies of each of these documents. Oops, review comments. Wait a minute, did I click on the wrong link? Change request iteration. No, I did not. All right. All right, I'm gonna call this, hold on, file, make a copy. I'm just making a copy because it could be that that link was just wrong. Iterations. And then, okay. And then change request comments. Oops, hang on. I did a 3-finger swipe by accident. And then change request comments, which is the document I pulled up. Okay, so this is going to be change. Is change request comments released? It looks like it's the one that we've done the most development on.
Let me see. Was that? Did you pull that from the issue or from the?
I pulled it from the spreadsheet, and it's actually, it looks like we've been developing it. I mean, it's not.
So I'm assuming there's not a markdown for it yet.
There is.
Oh, there is.
I mean, okay, there's not. You mean in the repo?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I would assume that the name changes that Matt did accounted for all of the reviews that were in the repo. So
okay.
my guess is this one that we're working on is probably just in a Google Doc.
I just checked. I can confirm. There's something called pull request comments in the repo, but it's from 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
So I would imagine it's not the same thing.
Pull request. All three
no.
of these would be great to release, I think. on
I
the
agree.
next,
Pull request. So what was the other one? Review. It is all
Iteration or efficiency?
pull change request iteration and change request efficiency.
So change request efficiency exists.
As a markdown. Okay, interesting.
And oddly enough, though, it would just be change request efficiency.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a ton of information in it though, is there?
Oops. There's not a ton of, I mean, it's because the markdown, the Google Doc has nothing.
Has nothing, yeah.
So that's the part that's baffling to me. Oops. Hang on. Change request efficiency. I'm just going to commit changes directly. All right. So then this should go into the Google Doc so that we're working from the same space, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm going to close that one. It was change request efficiency, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, because I trust this is the template, right? And I don't trust that what's in the markdown complies with the template. So to avoid.
Fair.
So question is there, description, objectives, implementation, filter, description, visualizations, tools, data collection, references. All right, so it's all there. It's not the wrong template. I just wanted to make sure before I blew it away. So we have change request efficiency actually in better shape than we realized. Did you say that change request iteration was also in the metrics? I can't remember. Change request iteration. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's got work on it. So let me get rid of this.
Yeah, just a question.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I was just saying how much. It just has the question.
Oh,
Sorry,
well,
I was talking to myself.
okay. Oops, and I didn't. All right, so now I'm going to go to change request iteration, which it does not even have the question. So at least we have that's a bit more developed than we thought it was. So now we're back to, we actually have three metrics that are change request oriented that have been initiated and developed to varying degrees. Change request comments, that's still change request comments. I don't need two of those. Review comments no longer exists. Change request iterations, not very well developed. Change request efficiency, that is still change request efficiencies. So it's duplicate. Review comments no longer exist. So we have change request efficiency, change request iterations, and change request comments. Change request comments is clearly the farthest along.
Yeah, it's certainly the easiest one to wrap up.
Yeah, so do you want to maybe spend, should we spend like 10 minutes working on this one? Like, or do you want to discuss, I mean, we can stay on the line and discuss it if you wish.
We could just work on it together in the document.
Yeah, like, is that what do we usually do? I mean, it's like I always get confused a little bit, Kevin, when we're doing this. Like, are we supposed to, we stay on the Zoom call, but we only talk, we don't really talk. We just kind of work and then kind of call it all back into session at some point, or
I know, well, some of the working groups do that. I think that's up to you
right,
and
so
everyone here on how they want to do it.
right.
I don't think there's
I'll tell you what, let's start editing it, and if we start contradicting each other, we can talk about it. But let's see if we can shoot this one out the pipe today, if that works for everyone.
Can you post the doc link?
Oh, no, Vinod, you have to mysteriously find it.
I don't want
Yeah,
to go
that's-
through all these steps.
Yeah, no, let me
I'll do it. I got it.
thank you, because like when I'm sharing, it's really hard to find all of the controls. Like I've dropped down
Yeah.
the controls and it still doesn't give me a chat option, and I have no idea why.
Thank you, Carter.
Yep, no problem.
Quick question.
Yeah,
So on the, did you add the change request comments to the sheet?
I believe it was already in the sheet.
Is it,
Yeah, it was called review comments in the sheet. I just changed it to change request comments because it's not released.
oh, we need
And
to,
so,
we need to change all the names for those, don't we?
yeah, you're right. Change
I was thinking of them and I
requests
thought
open.
maybe
Yeah, if
for
they're not,
release.
they don't need to be changed anywhere else except the spreadsheet. And
But like for the release, do we have to change or we have to go through that entire release cycle process and then change it?
Well,
no, I don't think,
these haven't been
no,
released yet.
since
So
they haven't been
just-
released, they don't have to go through,
Okay.
they don't have to go through anything other than being released.
Yeah. So for the in progress ones are the ones we're talking about now, right? So change request comment is going to be in progress, or is pending.
So-
Pending
so
the
the
ones that we are working on for release.
So the
Yeah,
only
but-
reason I've changed them to pending is so I can find them in the spreadsheet. I don't actually, I'm sure it tells me pending means want to add it for release. So I think that we can say, I mean, I think that's legit to leave these at pending then.
Yep. I think you're right.
And like, so I think let's get through these three, and because the next, is there a date for the next, like if we like set a calendar for the next release cycle?
January.
Like, okay, thank you. I knew that, but I mean, deadlines, like actual deadlines.
Oh, it'll be the end of December because the month of January is the review period, and then it gets released right before FOSDEM, so February 1st-ish.
So I guess I'm going to bring up in the next, I guess we had a kind of a monthly meeting in lameness, but I guess I'd like to bring up in a meeting, like, that's just, we've done that historically for FOSDEM, but be real, no one's going to FOSDEM this year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is just like a bad time to have people trying to get through building metrics. Like without FOSDEM, there is no reason to have the end of December, which is generally speaking a terrible time, be our deadline for this.
That's fair. That's fair. I
And
think
it's like,
part of it, I think, was the first of the year matched up kind of nice for, like, this is the new year. These are the releases.
yeah,
But
it's
it is, you're
entirely
right,
for FOSDEM. It's entirely for FOSDEM.
And
FOSDEM
it's fairly,
isn't gonna,
it's fairly arbitrary. We could change it.
I think we just make it the end of like the release goes into under review in February and start that the review period can begin at FOSDEM, because FOSDEM is going to be virtual, and so I see no reason to And it's really, frankly, for the working groups that I work in, it's really hard to get people engaged after Thanksgiving. So I want January, and there's no reason that we should limit the metrics we release simply to have them released at a conference that's not going to happen.
Yeah, you'll get no arguments from me. I'm perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
so I'll make
Today.
that point maybe on the mailing list first.
So generally speaking, we shoot for 2 regular releases, and they don't have to be spaced completely 6 months apart. But
When was the last one?
The general target.
When was the last one?
Was that
July 31st, right?
I think it was August.
So February, like release at the end of, was it end of August?
Yeah, so we release in February, and then we release in August currently.
All right, so end of February versus beginning of February, still 6 months.
Yeah,
Did we release the beginning of August? We did.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal to push it back a month in both directions. I mean, we could release in October.
Yeah, I mean,
so
if you think about it, especially since OSS Summit North America, which again won't happen this year, has been moved to June.
Yes. Yes.
The
August date
calendar
matched up with North America Summit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think our release dates can a lot. We've kind of forced release dates at times that are really bad times of year. Like August is terrible for Europe. We should just adjust it because A, none of these conferences are happening this year, and B, OSS Summit North America moved to June. So yeah,
sounds good to me.
I seem to have lost. I had a display of everybody, and then it went away.
I turned my video off. I think it changes.
Oh, so when everybody has their video off, then there's no video. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, another Zoom feature introduced that did not have any I didn't know it did that now, but now I do. All right.
Okay, so there's
I
two.
have a question.
Yeah.
So on these line 26, 27, 28, we have review accepted, review declined, review duration. Are these going to be change request accepted, change request declined, or change request duration, or is it going to be still review?
Those are all going to be. Actually, didn't we change? Aren't those under review to be changed?
Yes. We should change them now in the.
So like these are the release metrics. Are we changing it in the GitHub, like on the release metric page, or we are just changing it?
They're under review. They're under review. So we should put them, we should give them the same names in here. You're right, Vinod.
Okay, that's where I got confused. Then even on line 35 also.
Okay. And I think, like line 35, I assume that's been updated, right?
I have
that's in the release. Kevin, do you remember?
Fun.
It's there is a metric that's just called change requests.
Yes, that is in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that spreadsheet is just out of date.
Yeah.
Okay. 4
that I'm changing now are.
I don't think we need the underscores there. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of them. I think one of them had it, so I just duplicated it. So.
Yeah. Now I think we are good on the Excel sheet.
I think there was some lower still.
And I would like to include change request commits and change request. I'll just add them. Can I just insert lines?
Yeah.
Change request commits and change request files.
Okay, so in community growth, there is a review comment diversity. That's change request comment diversity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And any other?
No, I think we're up to date now.
Okay.
We got all our.
And then one more thing before we jump to, I think, were we going to look at change request comments?
Yeah.
One more thing before we change to that. Can we look at what the pending and the in progress are real quick and decide which can kind of rank them in order of either determine which ones we do want to work on right now?
I think the three that are pending for sure.
Okay.
I think change request files and change request commits would be very easy to work on because frankly, Augur has them.
Okay. So the order for pending and in progress is advancing it for the release. Pending is want to add it for the release.
Yeah. Oops. Did something weird there. Yeah, correct. So we have 5 that we're targeting for release.
And are those the ones that are pending?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to flip that then. And the 5 that are pending currently, we need to change to in progress. And the ones that are in progress, we need to change to pending.
So,
you know what I mean?
So pending means that, because pending says up here, want to add for release.
Yeah.
And in progress is advancing it for release.
Yes.
So I see. So actually advancing it for release is farther along
than pending. Yeah. Which is, it's weird, but that's that's the way we defined it. So,
so advancing, why am I not seeing advancing for release on this drop down?
It should be in progress.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. All right. In code change files, we haven't done any work on. Code dependencies, I would say pending. Like we haven't. I think there's just a lot of questions about those right now that we want them. Like I guess all of these are pending. They're not being considered. We want to do them, but they're not. We're not advancing them. Change request comment diversity. Have we done anything to advance those? I don't think so.
I don't think we have, but if we're working on change request comments, comment diversity could be one that we could throw together pretty fast.
So let's leave it in progress right now, only because we now have
a bunch.
A bunch in progress. We have 5 in progress, and if we finish those 5, super. But let's make sure we finish those 5 before we spread our attention too thin, right?
What's review acceptance ratio?
What's that under? What line?
Line 31. What is that?
Yeah, it says it's ready. Let's find out where that is.
So that needs to be change request, right?
Yep.
And should we make that one a in progress as well?
Yeah, it looks like there's quite a bit of visualization development and aggregators. Yeah, so
it doesn't look ready though.
It's not ready. No, it's not ready. It should be going to in progress.
Okay. I just changed it.
And I'm changing it to change request acceptance ratio. So if I was to say, I think change accept request, good God, change request acceptance ratio and change request comments are the 2 that are farthest along.
Okay.
If that looks when I look at the sheets. Okay. First priorities for metrics, release, change request, comments, and it was change request acceptance ratio, right?
Yes.
Only because we are farthest along on those. That makes the most sense to me, to focus on things that we've already done a bunch of work on. And you changed the something to in progress.
I did.
Okay, fair. And all right. So we were going to work on change request comments. We now have 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes. Do we want to go there? Or do we want to, I mean, we got basically 5 minutes if we want to try, see how far we can get.
We could do that. There also was another issue that,
Right.
I mean, if we wanted to talk about it, that got opened, I think like
All right,
a couple days after the last meeting.
let's do that.
382.
Okay.
It looks interesting.
380, add new metrics for
Yeah.
mapping between MR is a merge request.
Pull request, merge request. I assume.
So it's
that's what
like a
this means.
change, so it's change request, basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like this one.
I do too.
So
I actually did this. I did this for my master's thesis.
oh, cool.
So
Inside
pull
your knowledge.
requests that are linked to issues have a greater acceptance rate.
That makes sense.
Yep.
All right. What do we? So this would be like, what's the metric name? Change request issue mapping.
Let's see.
Change request mapping to the issue.
Oh.
It's more of elaborative, maybe.
Change request to issue mapping, or issue to change request
Maybe like
mapping.
stability of change request to issue mapping. Like, because we're looking for a one-to-one kind of thing,
change
right?
request linked to issue.
Yeah, that's too long.
Too long, yeah.
It's descriptive, but it's too long.
Yeah, but it clearly gives them meaning, or the.
And there's a question of when multiple issues are mapped, then the PR granularity is too large, is what the point is. So if I'm mapping 12 issues to a single change request, then it's likely a very large change request.
Right.
So maybe change request to issue ratio. Basically, we are calculating the ratio. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what language I used in my thesis for this.
Yeah, I like the word mapping better than I do ratio.
And we can include we can include the cardinality as a filter or a so that question can also be asked with the metric, but in many cases there's no mapping at all.
So
we want to definitely name it so there's no divide by zero problem.
Yeah, change request issue mapping. Title: change request to issue mapping.
Similar.
Change request
to issue mapping or something like
that. And I think that might go under efficiency, or it could go under issue resolution.
I would.
The issue resolution makes more sense.
I would actually do efficiency because there is a connection between merge success and whether or not it's linked to an issue.
So if it is linked to an issue, it is highly likely to be merged.
Yeah, well, more likely.
Yeah, like more likely. Okay, so yeah, yeah, it can go anywhere, either of these.
So it's kind of it's an issue of explicit coordination versus implicit coordination.
Mm-hmm.
So what you also see is that in large projects, you see that change requests are more often explicitly linked to pull requests than in smaller projects. And then also what you'll also see is that the more complex a change request is, the more likely it is linked to a issue. What was that?
So in the original issue, King linked to an old issue that's actually still open on Evolution, talking about basically the same thing from the issue side. One of the interesting points he brings up is talking about like issues that wouldn't necessarily map to a pull request because they're more like discussion based, or just are trying to, it's like a bug report or something like that. Well, I guess that probably would fit, but maybe that changes how we think about it. Not necessarily where it goes, but
Yeah, back to what you had said earlier. I think mapping is the best, is the term I like. So change request issue mapping.
So I have a question on mapping versus ratio. In mapping, we are matching 1-to-1, but in ratio, we are looking in totality of all the issues and all the PR requests and what is the ratio of these. So our focus is on looking at the totality or at a very granular level by one issue to one PR matching.
It's possible to have multiple issues connected to a change request, and it's possible to have multiple change requests linked to an issue. Is that your question?
My question was more on the defining on this. Maybe we can think on it when we brainstorm, like write up on this. I was focusing on the method, like, okay, are we focusing on matching them together or with other issues, or we are just aggregating them and seeing a ratio of matching to assess the health or like evaluate overall health of the project or a repo?
I just typed some stuff. I think you can see it on my shared screen. Just, is there at least one issue mapped to a change request? That's the first thing, because often there's not. If more than one issue is mapped to a change request, what is the total? And then, so that's from the change request perspective. And then to Vinod's point, if issues are mapped to more than one change request, what is the ratio of issues to change requests?
Yeah. And then for the title right now, we have change request to issue mapping. I think you need to get rid of the to because it implies some directionality. So just say change request issue mapping.
Change request issue mapping. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right. And then that needs to change.
I know we're at time, but I'm a little bit confused about, Sean, if you can go back to that.
Yes.
The third point, the ratio of issues to change requests. So like, I guess I'm confused because in my mind it's like you're either looking at one issue.
Right.
So let me Is
So
it
an
like
issue-
you're looking at one issue and you're seeing how many change requests are mapped to it, or one change
Yes.
request and see how many issues relate to it?
Yeah.
Actually, you
Okay,
can
So
run
the
it.
ratio is always
it-
going to be
It's-
one
it's
to
on
one to
both the
one to
sides.
something.
Actually, yeah, there needs to be a second line there. If change requests are mapped to, what is the, okay, if actually it's not what the total is, but what is the ratio, right? If one issue is mapped to a change request, if more than one issue is mapped to a change request, what is the ratio of change requests to issues? It's basically becomes the same language as below here, right?
Yep.
Because that would be certainly more consistent. And obviously the total is also visible, but the ratio is more discrete and specific.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
So I think we're a couple minutes over.
We're 3 minutes and 8 seconds over according to the atomic clock that my computer and the internet syncs to, but that seems like it was like a reasonable good use of our last 3 minutes, because I think we've also, do we add, and this is going to go under, I guess I didn't get, somehow the way I added this, I didn't capture it.
Oh, you probably added a new line instead of like copying and pasting a line.
Is there a way, Kevin, to apply the style after the fact?
I think you can just click
Hang on a
on it
second,
and
I know
drag
how to
it
do it.
down, can't you?
What happens, what I've noticed is if I do it in between two metrics,
Uh-huh.
Yep, nope, that didn't work.
Just copy
I
from
think you copied
B
the whole
column
line.
and
You copied
yeah.
the whole line.
Right, don't do that, I think is the
Yeah.
message.
So with this metric that we just added, the next step would be to have a change request issue mapping efficiency metric, probably, where we can look at how that relationship between the mapping affects merge success and other things.
Is it in
We're
itself?
going to make that part of this metric.
Isn't itself a efficiency metric?
What's that?
Oh, I'm saying that this particular metric itself is an efficiency metric, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, but we'd be looking at how that relationship affects the merge success or other
Okay.
or other things within a change request.
All right, I managed to actually get it in there in a,
Right, so the question I have is, do we include that in this metric or is it a separate metric?
I think that'll be part of filters. That's what I was thinking of in that time.
yeah, I do too. What's the filter, Kevin, again?
So that would be how the relationship between change request issue mapping is to merge success, right?
Is that a, it feels like there's some optional parameters. I'll put it under here for now.
Yeah. How does the relation, or what is the, how does the relationship affect merge success or something like that?
How about that?
Yeah, I think it's fine as a I think it's fine as a filter. So
Okay. All right. Now we are 6 minutes and 25 seconds past time. I'm going to say very productive meeting. If anyone wants to begin working on these issues in the next few weeks, that would be awesome. So let's go forth and see what new hijinks have occurred in the United States of America while we were on this call. And we'll talk with you all soon.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See ya. Bye.